From the past to the present, not a few cold-blooded people. No conscience was born in America. The movie this time, bring it to the audience, a true cold-blooded killer. With extremely careful modes of action, and discreet, this killer worked for the United States Police Department. Have to stand for a long time. There's nothing we can do. Due to their inability to investigate, the U.S. police have been tasked with investigating this crime for one of the most notorious agents ever known, with the name of the criminal elite. So finally, the serial killer. How did Keir and the agent have a background? Will the killer be caught and be guilty before justice? What are the next developments of the film? You have to lie down. Enjoy the movie titled No Compromise to find the answer. Start the movie. It's a picture of a bald man struggling to sleep. Even though I drank a lot of wine, feeling stuffy and uncomfortable in person, so I decided to go out for a walk. Let your mind relax. But I just left the house. I ran into a group of young men trying to steal a tattered old car. Saw you, bald. They don't just show no fear. He threatened me with a knife in order to get his wallet. Even though Bald has been constantly warned, but these kids, it seems impossible to teach with words. So he decided to give it to each of them. Some guava on you. In just notes, the whole gang was beaten unconscious, lying in the middle of the dark coward. In a very passionate way. And they use violence all the time. You should wear yourself. Bald is an elite agent. But he was constantly criticized and warned by his superiors with his incredibly grumpy behavior. Bald man made the police department. You constantly get a lot of negative complaints. It loses its image in the hearts of the people. No matter how much criticism or how many penalties, bald people never take it. Change the way you work. Because I don't care what they say. Just sit at a desk and judge others. A few days later, he went bald to church. Inspector Robert's wife has died. Robert is level on. It's also a longtime friend of Bald's. So I love and respect. Now, my dear boss, I've just suffered a great loss. So the bald man couldn't help but comfort and encourage Robert. Let's sit together and have a few drinks. At the same time right now, female police Sandra, while on duty patrolling the city, he was attacked by a stranger. He straight stab a copper candy into the cop's neck. Make her log out. The bald man quickly received the case information. Without a second's hesitation, he rushed to the scene, where the mysterious unsub killed the policewoman. Poor, however. In the moment, the sky is pouring a heavy rain that leaves almost traces at the scene, has been washed clean. This accidentally made it difficult for the police in the investigation and looking for clues to the case. The next morning, police department, after witnessing the passing of a colleague, the female was murdered. Now they have to accept another loss. It's Robert, your superior Inspector Bald, who decided they plan to retire in old age. May still be affected by the departure of his wife. So right now, he no longer wanted to be involved or Bon Chun's life. I just want to enjoy the peace of life. Due to Robert's sudden departure, that leaves the police department short of vital personnel. Because of this, the federal police sent a NAS sergeant to assist and coordinate with the bald man to continue investigating the case. On the other hand, the mysterious killer, I was contacted by a journalist of the city newspaper and tell all the crimes, as well as your own way of doing things. He also informed the police that he'll take his life up to 8. After withdrawing words, this crazy guy find a police officer's parking spot. It's nearby. He kept giving out provocations, humiliating the police officer in the car. The police officer couldn't open the car, go out and give him a blow. Then the killer took advantage of that loophole. The result is boom. Out. The killer continued to call the journalist. He asked the journalist to rewrite everything, what he said after the crime, and plucked it on the front page of every new newspaper. The purpose of the killer, of course, it's a challenge to the entire police force. Nars and the bald man, they were called up as a team to undertake the main investigative work for the pursuit. Sick bastard, they're targeting the police. Even though these two people don't like each other very much, because how to work between two people is so different. They both have the opposite kind of boring thoughts, but they're all set aside to be able to act together for the benefit of the whole city. Bald guy immediately goes to a boxing gym at the local to investigate what kind of gun the killer used. You don't get any results, but on the other hand, Nars went to the city's police department to start the investigation. From the documents, as well as video recordings of security cameras, we have identified the perpetrator inside the video. But as I said before, this guy always knows where the camera is. He always turns his back to avoid it. Reveal your identity. We can't find the main road, find the clues. You're bald. They seek the help of unscrupulous people. In society, he went to a cafe to meet Ronaldo. A local map name. Eating is not sitting, but it's a very reputable bald. Throughout the years, Reno said that, I know a little bit about the killer. But he won't say. Before you baldy pay him. But maybe the dust has forgotten. The person sitting in front of himself, who is he? The bald guy quickly used force on him. Give all the information you know yourself. They don't take pain well. Reno said that. Recently on YouTube, there's a clip of a man posting. The viral content of the clip is, a stranger set fire to the police business, just for fun. After hearing this clue, you go bald, and left Rano to pay for all the wine. It's very bad luck for Rano. Lost both lead and fishing, just didn't make a profit. From disclosing information to the bald man, you have to pay out of your pocket. I was bald that night. Nat's own house to be able to please more advice. And thanks to that, you'd had a little talk here. Nat with you bald. They are honest about everything, so you can both get to know each other better. Bald man sitting in a chair and start talking about psychological problems. I've been having a lot lately. Let nest here, after it's time for the night to vent. When did the bald man fall asleep? The next morning, he woke up bald and found himself sleeping through the night at Nes's own house. Nes is busy making breakfast for both of you. The bald man began to tell the information. There's a stranger who goes to the local gym to post a clip of a dog killing the police business for training purposes. Both decided to visit the gym for a while. It's as planned. Two people quickly drive, go to the local gym. To investigate, they manage to find the suspect's home address. It's called Barry West. Not thinking, Nars came with the bald man and knocked on West's door. The name West is also warm. Opened the door, led to police officers inside to investigate. Only now did he realize that West, that's the son of a bitch you beat up. I was admitted to the hospital a year ago. At the pizza place, I didn't find anything suspicious. I recognize this West. Have psychological problems. His mind is not normal. This West name is also online, with a lump of dung from a contemporary house. Championship of golf, comeback, display in the audience in memory of the idol. There's no evidence or clues. It turns out that West was the one who killed the cops. So Nas with you bald. Quickly leave the house of the sick man. The police went to West's house. It made him start to fear. And quickly fly. Increase the criminal evidence of the previous two cases. But everybody's lifting the door. Press's move were carefully observed by Ranos from a distance. The purpose of Ranos is to collect 10 and selling information to the press. In exchange for some money, West goes to a parking basement of the apartment and then store all the evidence of the crime inside an old car. Ranos has seen it all. He succeeded in knowing the evidence. Where did West hide it? This time the target is named West to go next. That's Robert. Your old boss is bald. After Robert decided to retire from his career, catch your criminals. He's having fun. Enjoy your relaxing days. Since his wife died, Robert lives alone. So, of course, he's a very lucrative prey for Cho West to be able to take his life so easily. He watched Robert for hours and managed to find out the former inspector's whereabouts, quickly destroy the security camera of the apartment, then quickly masquerading as a delivery man. Express delivery. Of course this fooled Robert. And the name West managed to get Robert to open the door so he can get to the West. After touching the face, Robert gave a smile filled with anger. He then forced him into the house with a gun. Next, Robert tried to reach for the hammer in the toolbox to be able to turn back the name West. But Robert was old and weak. And West is in his prime. Should be quick. Robert was oppressed and took the hammer from his hand, with the weapon on the West hand, like a thunder god. 10 times on Robert's profile picture. After sending the former inspector to his resting place, finally, West still has Robert's police suit and coldly set the apartment on fire to wipe out all evidence of Robert's crimes. Finished everything. The cold-blooded killer. Keep calling the journalist to make it clear that the third person killed was Robert. At the same time, I didn't forget to tell him how he acted. Like every news report that former Inspector Robert was murdered, it was immediately on the front page of the city newspaper. This made the police department, where the bald man works like he's sitting on a fire, bald with Nas, deciding to make the case. This time all the information they know is, every time the crime is successful, the killer will call and explain everything to the city newspaper reporter, because he wanted to make sure your story will be told in the most detail. This is in addition to challenging the police. West is also hitting people's minds. I often feel nervous and scared when I go out. Reno's after days follow West. He knew where he was hiding the air, as well as saving crime. But Reynolds despised the core filtering killer. I thought I was watching West. But actually, it's Reynolds who's being watched. Reynolds quickly called the journalist to make an appointment. Exchange and sell information. He got 10 from the West killer for a high price. Impatient, Reynolds thought in his stomach that this time he was warm. The game will now be controlled by him. While Reynolds is happily counting money in the toilet. His smile died when he saw West walk in. Reynolds trembling, constantly begging for West's life. But of course, with a cold-blooded killer like West, ask him to forgive. It's something that's very unlikely to happen. So Reynolds was killed by West in the bathroom. And the successful killer has a huge amount of money from selling Reynolds information. Immediately West quickly flew tong away the evidence inside the trunk. That's when Nars and I went bald. I didn't get 10. All the fingerprints as well as DNA at the crime scene. Robert's case was destroyed by fire. But fortunately, there's a piece of clothing left. And that's the shirt from the local gym, where Nars and the bald man went to investigate the name West. You bald, thanks for the information about this website. Bald man realizes the coincidence. In West files, that's the female police sandal and male police officer killed in the car park. They've all arrested West. Even Robert. There was a time when this psychopath was put in jail. It's all alone now. Female police Pox, he was the only one who had ever been arrested. This West, surviving. Identify the killer's next target. The bald boss quickly called. Asked the police to protect her. At the same time, female cop Pox is going on a date with boyfriend. However, due to conflict and friction, so Pox went home alone. And Pox is opening the door. West with a hammer rushed to the policewoman. Fortunately, I smiled at the boss. I had to bend down and pick up the key. Pogs have become. Attack dodges attack from behind of West's. They're both struggling. The boss was rescued by a neighbor boy. West quickly broke the boy's neck. He died on the spot. After seeing the police arrive, West rushed away. Planned to kill a female police boss. I can see the scene in front of me. The female police boss was shocked and hurt. Just for myself, that's what killed the young man. Bald brother Ann at this time decided 6. Check out West's house again. But this West guy is one step ahead of the police. He cleaned the house and Gao ran away to another place. Everything that Bald Annette found. It's just his pictures. Bald guy uses these pictures and issued a nationwide arrest warrant for West with the help of government forces. The bald man finally knew the exact location of this cold-blooded man, hiding him with a group of other police officers armed with weapons, and went inside West's room to arrest him. Once again, the West had smelled danger. I climbed through the window to escape. Close, but this time, bald man won't let this bastard. It can be easy to escape. He quickly chased West close. They both flew through many houses, from one place to another. The bald man poured all his determination into the chase. This time West was starting to get scared. When I see you bald burning gas, chasing yourself, he drove like crazy all the way. Even if you get hit by a car, you have to get up and keep running. Both run to a GA train of the city. West took advantage of this, constantly hiding under the underside of the train cars. But only the gods can help him get rid of the bald man. The gods appeared before my eyes, but this god is called Bald CA. At the same time, Nest is mobilizing the police, running at full speed to where Bald and West are. Because you know that once you've gone bald, the killer, the bald man will give the assassin a fight. Life is not equal to death. They ran to the place and successfully captured West's money, as well as stopping you bald. Don't let him get too excited. On the other hand, police officer Fordwee was assassinated along with to witness the neighborhood boy for saving her. He was murdered by West. The police officer fell into depression. You often have to use stimulants to relieve stress for yourself and create forgetting of traumatic events. To the name West. In person, Nars and Bald are going to the interrogation room to interrogate him. However, this West keeps a cool head for himself. And he asked for a lawyer to come forward. Let yourself know that after 2 days, if the police can't find evidence against you, they're going to have to release West, so he's bald and Nars has a headache. They asked each other out to the pub for a few drinks and talk about how we're going to deal with this West guy. You balding afraid that, if there's no evidence accusing West of a crime, we'll have to let him go. I'm afraid the police will be under a lot of pressure from the journalist's side, as well as the media. The bald man returned alone to the interrogation room to threaten the West. Tell him to confess the whole thing. West was beaten by a bald man for a bad fight. He died to provoke the killer. although very spicy. Al's butt, name West, still smart enough to realize your purpose balding. He was silent from beginning to end. Now Ford's boyfriend found him bald and asked me to be afraid to help myself. Ford to SA momentum and pleasure goods powder. They both rushed into the police officer's house and saw her getting high with a man. Stranger, he bawled, quickly take her to the toilet and sprinkle water on your face to wake you up. After seeing that the female colleague had calmed down, the bald man gently sat down, talk and motivate Ford, try to get through it all. It's like facing a sentence. Ford thinks he's a cop. Without being able to protect themselves, it can protect anyone. This sentence makes you bald and determined. Let the killer West pay the proper price for what he has done. 2 days later, no evidence was found, so West was finally released. Before he left, don't forget to say, mocking and challenging you bald. The press has been waiting. He never asked either. It's like interviewing a celebrity. At Robert's former boss's funeral, everyone in the police department is fully present. Even the bald man comes to be able to send his old friend to his resting place. Finally, West was wearing the same uniform he stole from Robert to blend into the police crowd. Because it's pouring down, so the action is easier to do without being detected by AI. His target is none other than the bald man. He went bald after getting a message from that AI, immediately turned his back and left alone. West quickly chased after him. If you're bald, West walks. Bald guy uses the car. West also used a car to chase behind, not taking half a step. After almost a day of wandering on every road, Bald finally parked in an apartment and then go up to the roof. West quickly prepared his gun and chasing behind, waiting for the chance to take revenge, wash up to the roof. He called out his name aloud, Bald, but when he came back, the person in front of him was Nest. At the same time, he's bald from behind, hitting his hand. The gun dropped far away. West was in great pain, but still pull out the knife, loudly challenged the Bald. Confident that you don't need a gun. Still have the strength to take your life, Bald. Don't let the enemy have 7 hopes. Bald man is constantly stuffed into the whole martial arts world that the self gets. Let the West enjoy. After a while of drinking, it's no different than the pizza place. A year ago, West couldn't stand it and fell to the ground. This time they won't need the law to punish this killer. Bald uses West's own gun. Send him a copper razor through the apple. He ended his sinful life. Just like that, your plan is balding and Narza succeeding. From now on, people can live in peace. The movie without compromise is over. Thank you to the dear audience. Watch all the videos with Queen. Don't forget to like, subscribe channel, and ring the notification bell to receive the latest videos soon. See you in the next review.